When letting go is the greatest act of love, in the quiet stillness of heartbreak, love sometimes finds its truest voice, not in grand gestures or poetic promises, but in the devastating act of letting go. This is the story of James and Diep, two souls from vastly different worlds, bound by a love so profound it would one day demand the impossible. A love without borders. James was born into privilege, a successful CEO and the only heir to a powerful business empire. Diep, on the other hand, was a girl of simplicity, whose joy stemmed from small, sincere things. Their worlds should have never collided, yet fate had other plans. Despite the odds, James loved Diep fiercely. He once told her, "Even if the whole world turns its back on you, I'll be the last one standing by your side." But no one, not even James, could foresee the storm that was coming, a storm no love could shield against: illness. The diagnosis that changed everything. Late one evening, Diep lay on James's shoulder and whispered with a fragile smile, "I think I'm getting weaker, but having you beside me makes me feel safe." James tightened his grip on her hand, hiding the tears threatening to fall. Back home, he made a life-altering decision. He would sell everything, the company, his inheritance, his legacy, to take Diep abroad for treatment. But his family, especially his father, opposed him vehemently. "Have you lost your mind?" his father thundered. "You'd trade generations of sacrifice for a girl? If you insist, leave, and never come back." His mother, while quieter, was no less shaken. Still, love moved her. For the first time, she defied tradition and left behind her comforts to care for Diep herself, not as a matriarch, but as a mother. She went to Diep's modest home, cooked humble meals with tenderness, and tended to the yard. Her hands, once used to silk and pearls, now wiped away dust and pain, acts of love louder than words. A CEO brought to his knees. As the city slept, James wandered aimlessly under dim streetlights, a man hollowed by grief. Once proud and composed, he now sat crumpled on a park bench, crying silently into the night. He had done everything he could, yet it wasn't enough, and then a name surfaced in his mind: Dung. Dung, the quiet man who had always loved Diep from afar, who had never competed, never spoken a word of jealousy when she chose James. But James knew, if there was one person with the means to save her, it was Dung. Could he really do it? Could he let the woman he loved most in the world go, into another man's arms, just to save her? Maybe, just maybe, he had to. A silent pact of love and sacrifice. Diep had no idea that being discharged from the hospital was not a sign of healing, but the medical staff's silent surrender. There was nothing more they could do. Domestic care would not save her. All that remained was to make her last days comfortable. James, broken yet resolute, held her hand as if releasing it would end everything. His heart thundered with fear, the kind of fear only the deepest love can awaken. At her childhood home, James's mother prepared a meal as if for her own daughter. Diep, weary but smiling, felt a warmth she hadn't known in a long time, not just from food or comfort, but from being loved with no conditions. After dinner, as Diep rested, James's mother gently placed her hand over her son's. "What will you do now?" she asked softly. "I'll do everything. Whatever it takes. No matter the cost," James replied. She didn't say more. Her silence was her blessing, the night that changed everything. That night, James made a call. His voice trembling, he asked Dung to come. 20 minutes later, Dung arrived, surprised, cautious, yet calm. They sat under a quiet porch light, the air heavy with unspoken truths. "There's no time," James said. "She needs to go abroad. I can't do it alone. But you can. If you still care about her, please, save her." "Don't let her die because of money." It was the hardest thing James had ever said, offering the woman he loved to another man. Dung said nothing at first. Instead, he walked silently to Diep's room. There she lay, a pale shadow of the woman who once filled his dreams. His hand hovered over her face, but he couldn't bring himself to touch her. She was too fragile. Too sacred. He sat by her side, just watching. Loving her in silence. 2 men. 1 mission. Returning to the yard, Dung looked at James and said quietly but firmly, "We need to take her abroad immediately." "I'll handle everything." There was no gratitude needed between them. Only purpose. As Dung stood to leave, he added one final instruction: "You stay by her side. Don't leave her." "She needs you, even more than she needs me." James nodded, eyes brimming with tears. He didn't sleep that night. He just watched her, listened to her breath, and prayed. "Please, if there's any miracle left in this world, let her live. Take everything else from me, but give her life." Will love be enough? No one knew what the next day would bring. But as the night wrapped itself around that small, quiet house, love, bruised, aching, and fragile, still burned like a candle in the storm. Not just romantic love, but the kind of love that gives everything and asks for nothing in return.